Hello and welcome you all in this video tutorial. This video is for class 10th, chapter number 3, Basic HTML Elements, part 2nd. Dear student, as we already started this chapter and in previous video I told you about basics of HTML. In that I told you what is HTML. So as you all know, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language and it is used to create a web page, and that web page you may create with the help of various links, and that links are called hyperlinks. Next thing that I told is HTML editor and browser. So as you all know, HTML editor used for creating and saving document and browser used for viewing the document. HTML editor is of two types that already we have discussed. First one is customized editor like Adobe Dreamweaver, Google Web Designer and many more editor. Next is text editor like Notepad and WordPad. Next thing that we studied is web browser. As you all know, dear student, after writing your HTML inside editor, you need to view that particular HTML. So for viewing a HTML code, we need a browser. That browser, we can use any of the browser, either Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, Opera, or any text-based browser. Next thing that we discuss is creating an HTML document. So dear student, as you all know, to create a HTML document we need a text editor, and whatever text editor generally we are using, that is our Notepad or WordPad. So simply first we need to open Notepad. After opening Notepad we need to write HTML code. After writing HTML code we need to save that particular file, and while saving don't forget one thing, to put .html extension. If you forget to put .html extension, then your file is not treated as web file. It is treated as a plain text file. So whenever you save your file, always write .html extension, then save. Next, to view that particular document, we use any of the browser, either Google Chrome or Internet Explorer or any of the browser. Next thing that we have covered is tags, elements and attribute. Tags, that you already know, are the building blocks of web pages. Elements or attributes. Elements, as I told you, two types of element HTML contain: container elements and empty element. Container element which have both on and off tag, empty element which have only on tag, and each and every tags having their own attributes. Next thing that we are going to discuss in this video is the next tag, that is p tag, and in previous video only we have discussed about heading tag, and I told you we are having so many heading tags like h1, h2, h3, h4 and h6, and each heading tag having their specific size. Now here we are going to discuss about p tag. P tag, as you all know, if you want to display a paragraph on a web page, so for that we use p tag. P tag is also known as paragraph tag. In general, when you break the text into paragraph, you may not think much about them as it happens when you press enter key. Dear student, in generally whenever you writing or you creating any document, so wherever you need to change the paragraph, simply you press enter key. But here on a web page, if you want to display a text in the form of paragraph, there we are not able to press enter key. For this we need to use paragraph tag, and this paragraph tag is a container tag or container element. It means it have both p tag on and p tag off. If we discuss about the attribute of paragraph, then we have total 4 attribute. We have a attribute, that attribute is align attribute, and this align attribute is work with 4 different values. First one is align is equals to right, left, center and justify. Dear student, if you want to place your paragraph right, left, center and justify. So for this we need to use align attribute. And one thing more here I want to tell you, whenever we use paragraph tag and inside align attribute, if we assign the value, that value it must be in double quote. And one thing more, in previous only I told you, as you know, HTML is not a case sensitive language, so you are free to write or free to use a small letter or capital letter. You are not facing any kind of problem. Next tag that we have is center tag. So generally center tag we are using to put the HTML content in center of the page. For that, in HTML we have a specific tag, that tag name is center tag. And this center tag is also a container tag. It means it have both on and off tag. Whenever we use center tag, this center tag is started with opening center and close with closing center tag. This tag we use for making a text, image, table, etc. in the center of web page. If we discuss about the attribute of center tag, so we can use this center tag inside paragraph tag also. If you want to place your paragraph in center, then inside p tag align attribute is equals to center. Like this we can use. Or one more way is there to use center tag is, whatever content you want to place it in center, place that particular lines or text inside center tag. That text is become center of the web page whenever you run that particular code. Next tag that we are having is comment tag. Dear student, I want to tell you here, comment tags are useful for the programmers as they write note for themselves explaining the source code, and it is especially helpful for long program or when you have multiple codes. Dear student, comments are non-executable lines. It means when you run your HTML program, that comment will not appear on the browser. This comment we are writing for the programmer's point of view. It means if you are having so many lines of code and you want to provide some specific information related to any particular tag, so for this we are using comment tag. Dear student, comment tags in HTML document we use by using exclamation sign, hyphen, and at last double hyphen bracket close. Like this I have mentioned here also, or in place of this you can simply write comment tag and close that comment tag. It means this is also a container tag. If you start comment tag, then you have to close it, and this comment tag we need to use inside body tag. Dear student, if you write comment tag outside of the body, then it will not work. So be very careful, very vigilant whenever you use this comment tag. And one more time I want to tell you, comments are non-executable lines. Whatever comment you write inside your program, that is not going to be displayed on the browser when you run that particular code. It is helpful for the programmers to understand any of the tags or information which a programmer want to specify. Next tag that I am going to discuss is B tag. It stands for bold. B tag is usually used to display the text as bold. When you want to emphasize the text, type the text within B tag, starting B tag and closing B tag. This is also a container tag. If you want to make your text bold, so for this in HTML we are using B tag. Next is I tag. It stands for italic tag. If you want to make your text Italic, for this we need to use I tag, and this is also a container tag. It means I tag having starting tag as well as having closing tag. Next is U tag. This tag underlines the text encloses in it on and off tag. It means this U tag is also a container tag. It means U tag is started. In between that you need to write your text. At last you need to close this U tag. If you and whatever text you will write in between them, that text will appear with underline. If we understood this with the help of an example, then here I mention one example. I have written HTML head, title, creating paragraphs or any title whatever you want to provide. Mention that title, next title close, head close, next body I have started. Then here I have started B tag. In this I written this is a bold tag, B tag close, I tag this is italic tag, I tag close, U tag this is underline tag, U tag close. At last I close body tag and HTML tag. One thing more you need to observe here, whatever tags I am using, that all are container tag. Container tag means each and every tag having their closing tags also. If you are going to see the output, then when you run this program code on browser, so you will get the output like this. The first one is appear in bold style, second one is italic style, and at last you are getting U tag underline tag. It will appear in underline. Here underline you are not getting, but if you write in proper way, so you are getting the underline tags also. Next tag that we are going to discuss is that is sub tag and super tag. Before starting, let me tell you, sub tag means subscript, super tag means superscript. As we are using in our Word or PPT also, for making any text appear in Power or in Base. So for this in HTML we have a tag, sub tag and super tag. Sub tag displays the text or number in subscript format. It means in Base, like suppose if you want to write any chemical formula like H2O, so in HTML we need to use for base S2 we need to use subscript, and superscript like if you want to write any mathematical formula like a plus b square or a square, so for that we need to use superscript. Here I mentioned the syntax also how we use this sub and superscript. Next, if you see that example, so here I have mentioned one example to write CO2 and S2O, and in mathematical formula I have written a plus b ka whole square is equals to a square plus b square plus 2ab. If you view the output, then output will appear for this code is like this: CO2, H2O, chemical formula, mathematical formula, a plus b square, a square plus b square plus 2ab. Dear student, why we use these all tags? Because in browser we are not going to do any kind of editing. If you want to do editing or if you want to write a text in these formats, so for this we need to use the specified tags. Next tag that I am going to discuss is pre-tag. The browser ignores the spaces and lines within the text while displaying it on a web page. To retain the space of text or displaying the pre-formatted space, pre-tag is used. Dear student, pre-tag we are using whenever you might have seen whenever you write some text, and in normal text editor or document applications, wherever you want to break the line, simply you press the enter key and you get that format as you want. But in browser, if you want to specify a formatted text, so for that we have a tag, that tag is pre-tag. Here I have mentioned syntax how we use whatever text you want to pre-formatted, that you have to enclose inside starting pre-tag and closing or ending pre-tag. Here I have mentioned the example, and inside pre-tag I have mentioned the tag God helps those. Next line, in next line I have written who helps themselves. Like this I have written in inside pre-tag, then it will appear like this. When you run, it will appear like this. If you not use pre-tag, then the output is not appear like this. So if you want your tag should be pre-formatted, so for this we have a tag, that tag is pre-tag. Next we have a font tag. Font tag basically we use to beautifying and displaying the text in a presentable manner. Dear student, font tag, if you want to change your text font face, size and color, so in HTML we have attributes for this font tag. That attributes are face, size and color. How we use the syntax I have mentioned here. You need to start font tag. Next you assign the face value, color value and size, at what size you want your text should be displayed. That all you need to specify, and after that you need to close the font tag. Next if we see the example, here I mention one example. If you observe this example, then here I have used font face Times New Roman, size 29, color red, and inside I have written the text. Font tag is used to change the style, text style, and at last I close that font tag. Here I used pre-tag. If you're not using, then no problem is there. If you see the output, then output is appearing like this. Dear student, it means if you want to format your text as you want, it means you can choose your font face, size, color as you want. So for this we need to use font tag, and these all are attributes of font tags. So in this video I try to explain these all tags. Hope you will understood. In next video, whatever remaining tags are there, that I am going to discuss. Hope you will understood. Thank you.